Isaiah, thank you for your time. I'm so happy to meet you. So happy to see you. How are you? How's your day?
Man, it was great, man. I just finished training not too long ago. Um, just finished getting some follow ups done before we got on the phone. So, hey, it's been pretty good so far.
Good. I'll ask about your training later because again, this is the most. I believe you are the most interesting guest we've had so far, and I will
Okay.
ask a question that I ask every single guest at the start of the podcast because I believe the
Yeah.
audience wants to know, and of course, I want to know as well. Who is Isaiah outside of the professional world, outside of your job? Who are you?
It's a great question. Isaiah is, somebody who's, works hard, dedicated to his craft, anything he puts his mind to. Um, I would like to think of myself as a, pretty kind guy. I don't like to try to cause any trouble if I don't need to be. Um, I just be chilling, man. Handling my business. Uh, trying to explore California as much as I can. When I have time, if I have time. Uh, but yeah, I'm just one of those. I'm a pretty cool guy. That's as much as I can say.
Can you tell me a fun fact about yourself, something that not a lot of people know, except for the boxing, because I know that. Can you tell me something interesting about yourself?
Um, I love chess. I
Oh,
love to play
okay.
chess. Yeah, yeah.
Are you into like the professional chess world?
Not. Yeah, I just be playing, man. I'm not too into like the professions. I go to a couple chess clubs around here. Just to play a little bit, but I'm not like Magnus or anything.
Oh yeah,
Professional chess player.
that's
I do enjoy
interesting.
it.
How does chess help you with your? I just want to ask it straight away because I wanted to talk about that. How
Yeah.
does chess help you with your boxing?
Chess helps me with boxing by it's really just like boxing. It's from what I've been learning about chess. You have to develop your pieces. You have to find your way to the middle. Have most of your pieces take the middle ground. So you can have more opportunities to get a checkmate. Um, and that's kind of just like, but there's a lot of strategy to it. It's not really just like checkers. You just move and hope you get something, a jump or something. You really have to kind of strategize. And boxing is just the same way. You have to. It's not really just you go in there and punch somebody and hope one of you guys get knocked out or whatever. It's really a lot of strategy. It's developing your punches. Setting certain punches up. Taking control of the middle of the ring. So it has a lot of similarities to it. If
Gotcha.
that made
That
sense.
it does. It does. It's a new perspective because I'm a boxing fan, and but before that, I jumped straight into the question. Just got too excited. Where are you? I read that you're originally from North Carolina. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, for
Where?
sure.
Where? I did some marketing in Jacksonville and Wilmington. Where are you from in North Carolina?
So it's a combination. So I was born in Charlotte, raised raised in Concord, but then I really grew up in Kannapolis. So the Concord, Charlotte, Kannapolis area. That's me.
Tell me your journey and how you ended up in LA now or
Man.
LA.
So how I ended up in LA, I think it was 2020, December 2023. I competed in the Olympic trials for boxing. And I had some managers who came out to basically scout me out. And after the fights, we had a meet with my team, my coach, and we talked about potentially moving forward, everything. Couple months went past. I was looking to turn professional after my Olympic bouts in December, and they were like, "Hey, we can go ahead and move you out here." So that was how I actually got out here. It was May of 2024. So I've been there ever since.
I see. What were some pivotal moments in your childhood or teenage years that sparked your passion for boxing? And who were the key influences that got you in the ring?
Yeah. Uh, I would say one of the biggest influences was my father. My father was a boxer. He didn't turn professional, but he was a pretty great amateur. From what he told me, and excuse me, what everybody else has told me, and I didn't even know it, but my grandfather was a fighter as well, and my great grandfather was, I guess, a prison fighter or something. So fighting was kind of always in my lineage because even when I was young, I always knew before I even got in the gym. Before I even started boxing, I always knew boxing was for me. You know, when you just got that knowing about something, you just know. I feel like this boxing was for me, man. I never really watched boxing. I wasn't a fan to watch it. I never was in the gym until I turned 16, but I always knew boxing was for me. And once I seen pictures of my father boxing, I said, man, this gotta be meant for me. And the first time I went to a actual boxing gym, I fell in love, man. I've been in it ever since.
My favorite is Roy Jones Jr. all time. This is my favorite. Do you have your favorite?
His name was Andre Ward.
Okay, where is he from? I'm not familiar with him.
He's from Oakland, California. Him and Roy Jones actually have a podcast together where they talk about the politics and boxing and upcoming fights and everything. So yeah, those two are a great combination together. But Andre Ward would say my favorite.
Who's been your biggest influence, like actual mentor or influence in your boxing career?
Man, that's a great question. And I would simple answer. I would say nobody. I haven't really had a mentor in boxing or anybody I've spoke to who's been in the journey of going through the things that I've been through, in boxing. It's really just been an all self-passion thing, So I would say I've been my biggest influence for real, or biggest mentor, me and the Most High and Chat GBT sometime.
Hopefully you get a sponsorship with that. But you built a life as a professional athlete, and to be honest with you, this is my first time talking to a legitimate professional athlete.
Yeah.
How do you describe your core values? I'm really interested in that. Has there been a defining experience that you've solidified, or are you still in the journey of, describing what your core values are?
Nah. What are you mean in correlation to boxing or just my core values in general?
In general, and in boxing, if you can talk about that too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it just goes all the way around. And I kind of mentioned a couple of things, earlier. It was just being kind, to people in general. Always being honest. There's no reason to lie about anything. Just keep being honest with everybody. So keeping it real. Uh, I would say family. Family is something I value a lot. Uh, let me see.
How'd you have that drive, or like, how do you keep going? Because being a professional athlete is, for me, it's impossible. For me personally,
Yeah,
just lifting a couple of weights is feels like, how do athletes do this? What's your
yeah.
core value in, like, trying to, doing the grind and staying there?
Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I would say I just have a very strong why. Of why I am, uh, chose to be, professional athlete. Um, it goes into more of purpose and why I feel like I'm here on this earth. And it's not really to beat people up, of course. It's really to, show people that you can come from the smallest town, the littlest gym, or not have that many resources to get to where you want to go, but you can still, be that person or that version of yourself that you can be. And I feel like, the reason why I have this talent is when I get to the top and stay there, people will be able to look like, man, or hear my story and be like, man, like I went through the same thing. Like I understand why he goes through the week. I understand his journey because I'm going through the same thing. So being that inspiration to other people, who may not have all the glitz and glams or the resources to be a professional athlete, I think that's what motivates me to continue going. And so I think that's one of my biggest whys when it comes to boxing. What motivates me, drives me when I don't feel like boxing, when I do feel like boxing, you know what I'm saying? Or anything other in life.
I get you. And like, you've already answered like one of the questions that I wanted to ask earlier. I usually ask like was it a gift or a skill, right? Was it a learned skill? I think it was I like that you use the word talent. I really think you are a talent. It was a God given. It runs in your blood, right?
Yeah.
And now I want to transition to real estate because this is my real estate story. How'd you get into real estate? So from boxing to real estate, tell us the story. If you can be detailed with that.
Yeah. I got you. So make a long story short, I actually used to be in the military. I was in the Navy for 3 years. And just to be 100% honest with you, I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? It's great people in there. It just wasn't for me. And I actually only joined the military, for boxing. They told me they had a military team you can get on, and you can be in the 2020 Olympics. We're gonna fly you out this, that, and the third. And turns out they didn't have none of that. All that was canceled in 2012 because somebody ended up dying or something. So they kind of got me in there, and I was just in there. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to want to make this a full-time career. I need to find something that I can do that will supplement my income that I'm making through the military, but also give me the freedom to box and do what I love to do, So I was stationed in San Diego, and me and one of my friends, we went to LA way before I even moved over here. I think it was about 2018 or so, 19. And we went to this LA event called the Jet Set Group. It was they were speaking about different types of, entrepreneur things you can get in, drop shipping, Facebook ads, X, Y, and Z. And one of the speakers was speaking about wholesaling real estate, and he was like, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna be up here long. I just want to tell you about my journey in real estate. This is how much I've been making. This is what I do, X, Y, and Z." And I'm like, man, this is something I feel like that I can actually do, And I got on YouTube University and went in that rabbit hole for a while until my man, I think I can actually do this, man. And I just took it head on from there, man. So that's how I got into real estate. I was in it for about I closed my first deal in like 9 months, I would say. And after that, it gave me proof of concept, like, man, this is not a scam. This is for real. So, man, ever since that day, I got out the military, I've been doing this ever since.
Gotcha. Well, can you tell us an interesting story, or like maybe your first sale? Do you have anything into stories in your dealings?
Yeah, man. My first actual deal, the one that gave me the initiative to get out the military, was the craziest deal. It was I'm not gonna go too long into it, but it was it's basically a house that was in Washington State, and because we got stationed up there, and me and my friend, we ended up finding this deal. We went to go walk the property and everything, to do our due diligence, and man. That was probably the creepiest and craziest thing I've been through. And so we went down to the basement of the house, and I went down to the basement of the house. My friend was like, "Man, there's something wrong about this house." I'm like, "Man, no, it's fine, man. Like, don't worry about it." I was feeling the same thing he was feeling, but I was like, "Man, but we gotta get this done. We gotta take pictures to show the buyers that we need we got this house X, Y, and Z." So man, I went down to the basement, man. I'm looking around. It's the Star of David, right? It was literally the Star of David plastered like all around the basement. And it was the weirdest feeling because as soon as I seen all those stars, I got like this crazy chill like down my spine. And I was like, I gotta get out this basement because something is wrong with this basement. As I'm going up the stairs, I kid you not, right hand to God. As I'm running back up the steps, something pulls my shirt.
I believe
Like
that.
it was me down where it was at. And I took off even faster. And when I got up the steps, my friend was like, "Why are you screaming?" Because I was like, "Yo, I got to get out of here." We both run up out of here. And I was like, "Bro," I said, "Bro, something trying to pull me down, bro." I was telling him what all described everything I seen. He was like, "Bro, it's crazy that you said that." He said the seller told me that her son committed suicide in the basement, and he was like into like Satanism or whatever the case may be. I think that's what she ended up actually individually moving. And I'm like, bro, you ain't telling me that before I went into the basement. He was like, oh man, da 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 da. But it was a crazy experience, man. We ended up selling that deal, of course. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's probably the craziest deal I've had, man. Ever since, like,
That was
I've
your
had
first,
crazy.
right?
Yeah, the first one, bro. It was ridiculous, bro. But hey, you made some bread though. That's all that matters.
I believe you. I believe you. I have some family in the bayou, and like a lot of people don't believe in superstition. But did you believe in supernatural activities before that? Did you have a background in believing that, or
No, I
did you start
did.
believing after that? Oh, you did.
No,
Okay.
I definitely did. Yeah, that wasn't my first encounter with something like that, but just dealing with it from that perspective, and having something like actually try to pull me, I'm like, yeah, nah, man, that's crazy, dog. You feel me? But hey,
Maybe that's a sign you can get from like getting good deals, right? If it's, it's something freaky there. But that's amazing you were able to sell that. Did you end up flipping the house before you? Because it has all of those things there. I think that's going to be like some turn off, and that can be
mhm.
some turn off, a turn off to some of the buyers. Did you end up flipping
Yeah.
it, doing some novations, or did you just sell it straight up?
Yeah, we actually just wholesaled it. We got it on the contract for a pretty low price, and then we just wholesaled it to a buyer within like I think like 3 days. We ended up selling it, and he closed on it within like 10 days right after we assigned it to him. So yeah, it was a wholesale, and I think he eventually ended up flipping it. Um, yeah,
What's your most difficult, or what's the most challenging part in your real estate experience? And yeah, that's first because I have two questions. But yeah, what's the most challenging part you've found in real estate?
the most challenging I would say would be between building an actual team and getting getting I would say building a team. I would say staying consistent, but staying consistent when it's no deals or nothing coming in. You know, I think those are two that I think that have been the hardest things when it comes to my real estate journey. You know.
Can you talk to us about like your process in getting leads? How do you get your leads, or how do you find your properties? Talk us through
Yeah.
the process and how you find your real estate and sell them as well.
Yeah. So I basically wholesale land in North and South Carolina. So I use a software called Land Portal. It's great. You can, you know, filter out land all the way down to the road frontage, the slope, wetlands, all that. It's very great. So what I do is I pull a list from there. I put it into my cold calling system. I use smartphone. I have a cold caller who calls for me, or I'll send it to a place called lead mining where they text my leads for me, with my records for me, and I'll get leads from there, and I'm the one who basically calls the leads and you know, try to get them on a contract to eventually, sell them to a buyer. So once they funnel those leads to me, I'm the one who calls them and closes them, and then I have a network of buyers I used to go to that I've developed throughout the years of me being in real estate. But I'm also trying a new software called Investor Lift, just to just with my properties even more, to see if I get higher prices. But yeah, man, that's my process. Pull a list, market it to through SMS and cold calling. I follow up. I'm the lead manager, an acquisition guy right now. And get them on a contract and then see either sell them to my immediate buyers or my or investor lift.
What's your long-term goal? How big is your team now, and what's your long-term goal? What's the bigger picture? Are you going to focus on your boxing, and is real estate just like a supplement to that, or do you have bigger goals with your company and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, for sure. So the goal is to basically get this about 90 to 100% automated, if can be, and which will can be, because other people do it. That's the goal with real estate. Wholesaling will always be my main, not I would say my main thing, but I want to build this system out so those deals can always be coming in. Um, I'm looking to get into new builds myself because I'm like, man, I'm displaying all these great land deals, but man, I can build on them myself, if I just buy it or do whatever it needs to be. So that's the next step. I'm thinking about the third or fourth quarter. I'm gonna do my first new build. You know, if everything works out right. But uh, yeah. So real estate is always going to be in the quote unquote background outside of boxing. Boxing is my main focus right now. I'm training twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. In between training, I'm recovering. I literally have my compression boots on right now. You can't see it, but yeah, I'm doing some recovery right now. You know what I'm saying? So as I progress in my boxing career, I know I have to put more time into boxing, more than I'm doing now. Just being at that top level and stay up there. So the goal is to continue boxing, but also have real estate running in the background, with me having little to do anything besides either signing or checking certain documents or whatever to make sure everything's done. To answer your question, how many people's on my team? I have one person, VA, that's on my team, but right now I'm actually building some agents through OpenClaw just to handle certain admin tasks in my business, so that way I'm not having to do everything. But my main thing I want to do right now, what I'm planning into the third quarter, is just having all those agents running certain things, and I'm basically just following up and closing the deals. You know.
How do you do it, man? Like, really, I'm scratching my head. Like, again, like these athletes. I know even semi-pro is crazy to me. It's crazy. Like, what does it take? I know this is a question that is asked every single time for athletes, but this is, again, my chance to ask. What does it take? Because to me, as a normal person, trying to be healthy and all of that, but like you guys go through hell. I'm just thinking about it. How do you guys do it, and how do you? What do you
I
do to
balance.
Yeah, how do you surpass your barrier every single time?
Man, I mean, how I do it is I'm always, I've been sacrificing, since I started this business, since I started boxing. I don't have the normal life that most guys my age would have, where they can go out on the weekends, have a girlfriend, do X, Y, and Z. I have to put my energy, physical and mental energy, into boxing and my business and other endeavors that I have. And it's one of those things where it's like how I do it is just like, if this is a life, I have a picture in my head of the life and the lifestyle that I'm going to live, and I see, I always visualize it, you know, and to help me keep me, I would say motivated, but I would say disciplined, and having that mentality, that picture always in my head is what really helps to keep me going. Just a lot of sacrifice, um, looking at the bigger picture and understanding why you're doing what you're doing, and just having a relentless mentality just to continue to keep going, man. Like, boxing is rated the hardest sport in the world, and I would say entrepreneurship, is the second hardest sport in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so many battles that people go through and that you don't understand when it comes to entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things where it's like, man, if you say you want this lifestyle, you say you want to do this, that, the third, for not just for you, for the people that you love, and X, Y, and Z. So it's like, man, you gotta just bite down and do it. You gotta make the sacrifices. You gotta keep going. You gotta, you know, you gotta do what you have to literally do. You know, there's no other way around it. And I hope I answered your question. I was kind of simple, but that's really the basics. It's just continue to keep going, sacrifice it, and just keeping out the bigger picture in your head, so you can continue to materialize that in actual reality.
Yes, and then I will have to. This is not an excuse or anything, but you're just talented as well. I mean, it's not. Of course, people can try. You're working hard. I know that, and a lot of people use that as an excuse. But of course, physical attributes and of course the mentality. I think
Yeah.
that's your natural gift, and that's a wonderful answer to that question. And hopefully that's one of the goals here, to inspire the audience. But what do you do differently, especially in real estate, when you're dealing with, there's a lot of talking, a lot of communication. You as Isaiah, what do you do differently, or what unique traits do you think that help you with your deals?
Man, just being me, like I talk to my sellers, you know what I'm saying, just how I'm talking to you. It's I don't, I think that's a phase that I finally got to, because when you first cold call and talking to people, you kind of sound scripted or whatever the case may be. But I would just listen to like other people close deals, and I'm like, man, they just talking just normal. And I think that's has been my like secret sauce, just like put my personality on the phone, not trying to be this super salesy guy. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Trying to persuade nobody. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? Just is tell them how it is, and I think that's really been helping me close more deals and stay consistent, having consistent business, in my business, just being me, not trying to be nobody else, but just be me.
And not forcing
So
anything. And yeah, it's like I get that in marketing and sales as well, because everything is marketing and sales, right? I think that really makes sense, because if you try to push for something, if they're not going to buy it, they're not going to buy it 100%, right? And
right.
if you just force it, it's not going to be a good sale anyway, right? But moving on to the next question, I ask this with every guest as well. I keep a tally on which side they're on. In the perfect world, the most ideal is you have confidence and skill, same level, right? But in this question, if you were to lean toward just one, which do you think is more important, skill or confidence? No right or wrong answer. I want you to get inside in your head and like see what your thoughts are there.
Man, I would say, man, like honestly, like you gotta have skills. You know what I'm saying? So I will put it at like a 60-40. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to 100% scale, like I will put like a 60-40. And it really depends on the scenario, man, because you can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't have belief and confidence and a sense of knowing in your skills, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? On the flip side, you can have all the confidence in the world, and that'll take you only but so far. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have skills there to back up that confidence. So I say 60-40. It's almost like 50-50 sometimes. It really depends on the scenario, man. Yeah, man. Especially coming from boxing, like you see that. You see guys who confident, but they trash or ain't got no skills. Excuse me, you know what I'm saying, boy. You know what I'm saying? Got all the skills, but they're timid. They don't want to use, their abilities or whatever. So they fold, under pressure or whatever case might be. So it just depends on the scenario. But I think 60-40, almost 50-50, I believe.
Being an entrepreneur, a great answer, by the way. You are. I don't know how many guests are answering, but I think some are on the confidence side and scale. Again, no right or wrong answer in that one, but that was
Yeah.
interesting. I'll keep a tally. We'll see what kind of content we'll get from that. But in terms of earlier, we talked about the relation of chess and boxing. Now I want to extract from your mind and like, how does boxing or your learnings and lessons from boxing, does it, converge with how you tackle real estate? Has it helped you? And if it has, how?
Yeah. Yes, it has. I feel like boxing requires a lot of resilience, a lot of learning, a lot of trial and error sometimes, and just going back to skill and confidence requires skill and confidence. And I feel like I've built that up so much in boxing that now it translates over into my real estate. Make sure I'm studying every week. making sure I understand my systems, and how to actually be an operator instead of hustling in the business. Um, Having confidence when I'm on the phone, when I'm making an offer or I need to, renegotiate a price, that may locked up too high or something. Like all those traits, kind of go hand in hand when it comes to boxing and uh and real estate, and even especially being resilient, man. Like, especially with boxing, you can get beat up or in a sparring sessions, like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to quit, but you got to keep going because it's also only temporary. You know what I'm saying? Um, or you may not have a fight lined up, or it just feel mundane, but you got to be relentless to continue to keep going, even when nothing is there at that moment. And it's the same thing with real estate. You might have one good month, and then the next 7, 8 months, for some reason, something ain't happening. This is real life. You know what I'm saying? For me, like, man, like, why ain't getting no deals? You know what I'm saying? I'm getting deals locked up. None of them are closed. I'm getting it too high, or it's, some heirs don't want to sell, or god dang, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But even when deals fall through, or nothing it seems like it's coming to fruition, you still have to be resilient when it comes to those things to keep going, because that's not the end all be all. It's going to be bigger and better deals out there. Deals are going to end up coming. You just have to keep going. So that's all. Both of those kind of go hand in hand.
Listen, that was a wonderful answer, and I know we don't have much time. And the last question or last request, I would say, what would be your message to our audience, especially for first-time buyers, people who are trying to get into real estate the first time? If you have, a statement for inspiration, anything you would like to say, what will be your statement for our audience?
Man, just keep going. Keep going. I know that's basic as I don't know what, but just keep going, because, 1 year, or nothing may seem like it's coming to nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom, you got a $35,000 deal that, what I'm saying, came out of nowhere just from off of you continuing to keep going. And look at how reality sometimes try to test you, or the Most High try to test you, because sometimes you'll go be in situations where it's like, man, this is too hard, or everybody keep cussing me out, saying they don't want to sell their property, or whatever the case may be, and it can be very discouraging. But having that mentality of just keep going no matter what until you get your goal will help drive you past, all those tests that you will go through. You know what I'm saying? And also having a why of why you're doing it. Because sometimes you may need to remind yourself, like, why you're doing this in order to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So having a why and just keep going regardless and will get you to where you need to go. And so just, yeah, them deals are gonna come. Whatever part of real estate you guys are in, just keep going, man. You're gonna get to where you're gonna go.
That's a great way to end the podcast. Thank you very much, Isaiah, and I really enjoyed it. And this is what we're all about. And thank you for your time. Let's
For
keep
sure.
in contact. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. I appreciate you having me on, Lee.